Transformers! No one in line yet, because we're an hour early. Gang gang. Here's my review of Transformers last night. We are going to do the first half as a non-spoiler review, and as you see, his hat is forward. And when we start the spoiler review, his hat will turn around, like so. So, Transformers Last Night is directed by Michael Bay, starring Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Hopkins. Christian, what did you think about this movie?
Honestly, I didn't think much. None of the Transformers movies ever surprised me. They're always just trying to build on to the next one, but the next one never goes anywhere with itself. And it's just a continuous money grab, in my opinion. But I go because it looks cool and I like the CGI and the visual effects. So that's what I thought about it.
I think most people understand what these movies are, or don't understand what these movies are trying to be. They go into it expecting some like hard-hitting drama, action movie, when in reality it's just big dumb fun. And that is the literal definition of this movie. It has comedy, a lot of it. I laughed out loud multiple times. Action, about like every 10 minutes or so. And great actors with okay acting. So what more can you really ask for in a Transformers movie?
That was like my whole point was I wasn't disappointed because I wasn't going in with the high expectations. I got what I expected from it. It's a Transformers movie. I expect big explosions, comedy, and no plot, and that's what this whole movie had. So was I disappointed? No. Was I content with it? Yeah, it was what I expected.
The main takeaway I got from this movie was, even though the story really isn't there and they're kind of running dry on ideas, I think they could really continue this because they've recently they just announced that they're making a Bumblebee spin-off movie in the 80s.
Wait, what?
And if you're going to continue this series, I think that's where you need to go, because after this movie you can really tell that they're kind of like grabbing for straws and seeing what works. And that's one of my main problems with this movie, is that it's kind of all over the place, but mainly streamlined, and it kind of falls back on like the typical Transformer problems where like they'll have one like giant scene where they'll just dump all this exposition into you so you can understand what's happening later. So that's, yeah.
And Bumblebee, I mean, he's the perfect he's the perfect Transformer if you want to have their own story or their own movie where they could be the main character in it. He has so much that we don't really know about, like why his voice is gone. They talk about it and they say it happens before, but they never say what the battle is that happens or what it is. And they hint at it in the movie about Bumblebee being there in the past. We can talk about it in the spoiler part, but we'll just say he's in it for now. And yeah, I think he's the best character to go back and make a spin-off with his own story telling you who he is.
So overall, I slightly recommend you to go see this movie. It is a really fun time. All the actors are having fun, as you can tell. And if this is going to be the last Transformers movie, I think it is a pretty good conclusion, even though the end kind of leaves this door open. And there is a post-credit scene. So stay for that. So overall, I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. What about you?
Now, if you want to go see the movie because you like Transformers, go see it. But if you really don't care, it's not like a movie that's going to change your opinion on Transformers or make it a better series for you that you're going to like more. I'd go see it if I were you, solely for the CGI and the special effects. And, I mean, you get Mark Wahlberg in a movie. And there's hints, same with Wiki, that it's not supposed to be funny, but it's... Wiki continues. That's all I'm going to say for the non-spoiler. Wiki is a part of this movie, but you got to go check it out for yourself to see what he has to do with it. But if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Ooh, baby.
Okay, turn the hat around, Christian.
We're heading into the spoiler section.
Into the spoiler section.
You had a disclaimer.
You had a warning.
If you stay...
If you have not seen the movie,
It's your fault.
exit the video right now. Spoilers.
Please.
Spoilers.
All right.
Spoilers. Okay. Anthony Hopkins dies.
Who's Anthony Hopkins?
The old man.
Oh, yeah.
The old man.
That was
okay.
amazing. That
No.
was
Ego.
As you can see, this spoiler video is going off the walls. I know most of you haven't seen it, so it doesn't really matter. So, what do you want to spoil?
Okay, so...
Every action scene in this is amazing. No phone calls on the video. Every action scene is amazing. Beautifully directed, and the CGI looks absolutely amazing. So, getting into the spoilers, biggest takeaway that I can actually talk about in this spoiler review is the Sam Witwicky connections and how you see that Anthony Hopkins' character, the old man,
I know now.
is related to Sam Witwicky, and we do get to see Sam Witwicky in a frame on the wall when he is going through how the Witwickies and their family are meant to protect the Autobots and their identity.
Now, the other thing is, you don't have to be blood to be a Wiki. You can work to protect the Autobots and the Transformers and become a Wiki. You're not like inducted in a club, even though they kind of call it a club. And there's one person in particular, I can't remember his name, but he's trying to get in the club. He's helping him the whole time.
Cade Yeager. He is Mark Wahlberg, and it is revealed that he, after coming into contact with the top part of this staff, is now basically the new King Arthur, and he is kind of destined to save the world, along with the British teacher, smart person,
Professor, doctor, whatever she was.
that he meets, who is a descendant of Merlin, who at the beginning of this movie gets the staff from some Autobots.
From one of the 12 Knights.
Yeah. And it kind of gets really complicated at that part because there's like a 20-minute exposition of the Autobot history and how the staff got here, and yeah. So, but the worst, most negative thing I can like talk about in this spoiler review is the ending. And after like hearing all the press for this movie, he was like, this is my last Transformers. Even Mark Wahlberg said it's his last Transformers. And then they kind of leave it on a note that's like Transformers 6. And they're like, we'll always need to protect Earth, blah, blah, blah.
And we need to merge and learn how to function as one, because when Unique becomes one with
Unicron,
Unicorn, whatever they called it, Cornucopia, whatever. Help me out with the other planet. Cybertron merge and connect and come together. They kind of leave the ending like a cliffhanger, like an extreme cliffhanger.
Well, after credits scene
kind of brings things together and ties it in.
The ending for this movie, the ending, quote, quote, is very abrupt. So you see the Cybertron planet kind of like sitting like right outside Earth as if it was the moon, which it doesn't really make sense because the moon was destroyed in this movie. So like, and then this whole planet like crashes into the Earth, and you don't really like understand how that works.
Because you're watching a movie review, and you probably are a movie fan like we are, but you've seen Avengers: Age of Ultron. They took a little city and raised it a couple 100 feet, and they're gonna drop it, and they said it'll take out the whole world. And then you get this giant planet coming to collide with another one, and blows a couple hay bales away. I mean, it doesn't. I didn't get why or how that works out, but whatever. There's talking cars. And speaking of talking cars,
wait, hold on a second.
Buzz Lightyear.
Hold on a second. This movie ends and kind of it makes you infer that Cybertron will now the planet will now live in harmony with Earth,
Unison with Earth,
and then it just abruptly cuts to the credits, and then about 5 seconds later, after they go through 10 seconds of credits, there's an after credit scene where you see
with credits still popping up on the screen.
yeah,
kind of and whatnot, like a TV show.
But it is revealed that the ultimate prime that created Cybertron and everything that was killed, and she is now a human transformer and is still out to do something.
We don't know. That's probably what Transformers 6, if it ever happens, will be about. They kind of introduced a guy that could be the new protagonist or antagonist when he meets her at the crash site. So who knows, maybe they try to use him and put him into the Transformers 6 if they decide to start it, which after this, they're probably bankrupt.
Probably going to make a crap load of money, though.
I think the opposite. I think they're just going to crash and burn, and this will be the last one, because, the CGI was amazing, but they probably spent so much money on that the profit will be so little that there's almost no chance of the 6th one. But don't mark my words, there's still a chance.
Bumblebee.
That's what I was going to say a minute ago. Bumblebee. I want to see his standalone movie. I think he can have a standalone movie, and it'd be better than any of the Transformers because they don't have to lead up to anything potentially getting created. They already made all of it.
80s,
so it's
man.
It's like the Wonder Woman movie. She had her own separate movie way before everybody else, so she didn't have to lead up to the Justice League or anything like that, and didn't have to connect with other heroes and Batman and whatnot, because they weren't around. She had her own movie that she could do her in and didn't have to try to bring things together, which I thought was good and is what I think they can do with the Bumblebee movie. But why can't he talk in his regular voice for a good 10 seconds and then lose it? I don't.
And then the whole crux of the movie, Optimus Prime is bad, about to kill Bumblebee, somehow magically gets his voice back. I used to be your friend, Optimus. Oh my God, I haven't heard that voice in so long.
I don't get it. Every commercial, everything you saw that was promoting this movie was Optimus is a bad guy.
Optimus Prime is
huge.
He's
the total bad guy.
He probably has 5 minutes of screen time.
He's 5 minutes as the bad Optimus.
He fights. You see him off in the distance.
Get a couple shots in with Bumblebee. Look, cool fight. Bumblebee, Optimus, two friends that have been together for every movie, fighting each other, and then it reminded me of the scene in Batman vs Superman where all he says is
Martha,
and then they're he's about to kill him, and he just says Martha, and he's oh, we cool now, we can, let's go stop this.
That's actually
apocalypse.
And this movie is kind of a mashup of Suicide Squad, because there's a whole
that whole part.
What other thing did I say it was?
It was Suicide Squad
meets Star Wars.
Yes. You get this ragtag team at the beginning,
Berserker.
They tried to have too many villains in this movie, I think was one of the problems with it. They tried to make too many and add another one that, she should have been the only villain that takes over Prime. You shouldn't have tried to bring Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron was kind of a side. Where did he even go?
He just took off. He just flew. He
just
left.
at the end,
at the end, he just left and just gone.
That is.
But I thought that was, stupid too.
But anyway, not to take a crap on this movie. This is actually a pretty enjoyable movie for what it is.
It's a Transformers movie.
We're nitpicking all these little things, even though they're kind of massive little plot holes. But go see this movie if you haven't, which you obviously have if you stuck around.
I did. I also liked the little. I don't know if they were taking a knock at
Shia
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
I don't know if they were taking a knock at Shia LaBeouf because they have all these amazing people hung up in these beautiful paintings and pictures on the wall.
And then you have Shia LaBeouf.
And you get this little cut to a table little thing that you can fit in your pocket, and it's just got Shia LaBeouf in it. And like I don't know if they're taking a knock at him because I don't know they don't like each other anymore and they don't like working with each other, but they have to hint at it.
Yeah, but
I did like. Sorry to cut you off, but the old man, his name is
Edward.
Edward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Edward.
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 I did like his robot companion guy who just like the British servant that he just always got anger bottled up in him. And he's just ready to go all the time. He just wants to fight and get the anger out, but he's stuck, like he said, driving cars and making cookies and bread and all that stuff, and he can't fight, he can't do what he wants to do.
But to conclude this video, go see this movie. Pretty entertaining, dumb fun, explosions, kind of bad dialogue. If you already haven't, because this is a spoiler section of the review. So I will have a Baby Driver review next week. Look out for that. Really high up there on my most
I'm
anticipated.
excited for that movie.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it to come out. I was looking at the trailer today, saw it in August, was getting hyped for it, and then he comes and tells me it's coming out.
June 28th. June. So I'll
I'm
see.
ready.
Yes. I'll see you guys in the next one.